So, hello and welcome to the Uncut with X. So, today we're going to talk about the African Union chairmanship debate. So, before we go to that, if you're new on the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you get a reminder whenever we post an episode. So, today we're going to talk about the African Union chairmanship debate. So, the debate happened yesterday, of course, with three candidates, namely Raila Odinga, the former Prime Minister of Kenya. Then there's the Djibouti candidate. He's called Mohamed Ali Yusuf. He is the Foreign Affairs Minister. Then we have, let me confirm his name. There's Richard James, who is the Foreign Minister of Madagascar. So we have these three candidates, and it goes without saying that the two major candidates are Raila Odinga and Foreign Affairs Minister Ali Yusuf. So they're the ones that we have known. They're the ones that have been popular on social media and across every poll that has been done for this election for the African Union chairmanship. So the other candidate, who is quite unpopular from the southern part of Africa, the Madagascar Foreign Affairs Minister, in terms of support, I'm sure that he's going to get the southern support. The southern countries like South Africa, they're going to back him up. But the two interesting candidates, who both come from the eastern side of Africa, Djibouti and Kenya, it's going to be interesting because most East African countries have vowed to give their votes to Raila Odinga. And on the other side, there's the Djibouti Foreign Affairs Minister, who is probably going to get, my guess is, he's probably going to get the northern part of Africa, because, you know, the northern part of Africa has that Islamic influence, and they're going to give their own. I'm sure that they're going to give it to him. The other place that doesn't have any candidate is the central part of Africa and the west side of Africa rather. So that's going to be more of a swing vote because we don't know where they're going to lie. Countries like Nigeria have already confirmed that they're going to vote for Raila from Kenya, but we don't know these things. With geopolitics, it's just uncertain because you may find countries like Tanzania or Uganda not voting for Kenya, because at the end of the day, these representatives who go and vote, I'm not sure if it's the presidents or it's just representatives, but the representatives who go and vote for this AU chairmanship, they look out for their interests, not any other thing, regional or whatever interest. They look out for their own personal interest. So it's going to be unpredictable, but most polls are saying that Djibouti Foreign Affairs Ministers is going to win this. And one thing that's funny is what the polls and Kenyans are agreeing on is both of them don't want Raila Odinga to win the AU chairmanship. And this is why. So all of you, or most of you who are Kenyan viewers, are aware that we had the largest protest, if not the largest, this country has ever seen, because there has been numerous protests in the past, but this one was massive because people managed to enter the Parliament of Kenya, which was a big milestone because the chant of the protest was Occupy Parliament. The hashtag was Occupy Parliament, and people managed to occupy Parliament. And that is after the Parliament passing the controversial finance bill. So it was a major protest that had happened, led by the Gen Zs and millennials, mostly the Gen Zs and millennials spearheaded that movement. And at the brink of that movement, when things were really hot and spicy, that's when the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, in quotes, betrayed the people. Because let me take you a little bit back to the previous elections we have had in Kenya, just to add context on my topic or point of view. So during the 2007 elections, Raila claimed that his elections were rigged. And it was quite clear that he had won because the news outlets were switched off. And in the morning, people got different news. And it was quite clear that the elections were rigged. So from that moment, people knew that this is the people's president. Same thing happened in 2013, in 2027, and in 2022, the previous elections. So in people's minds, they knew that this individual was the people's representative. And when the people needed him the most, or rather, when the people needed him to be there for them the most, he sold them out. And I'll say it clearly or plainly. That's what happened. The young people, the Gen Zs and millennials, had decided to give out their lives. Because going to those protests, if you ever went to one of them, they were risky. It reached a point during the protest, police officers were not using tear gas as most protests in most protests police usually do, but it reached a moment where police were using live bullets, especially on June 25th, where most patriots lost their lives in that protest. So it's on that period where the protest is happening. A lot of people have died. There are a lot of burials of people who were killed during the protest that is happening. And at that specific time, the president and the prime minister of foreign affairs meet up and they decide to form a committee. This is what they usually do to kill something that is good with bureaucracy. So they formed a committee to find resolutions to what the people want. That's what they called it, a committee to know what the needs of the people are. Then they'll find a way of solving it. But in hindsight, they were just creating jobs for few foreign ministers, for few cabinet secretaries, which we have seen now they are cabinet secretaries already. And at the end of the day, people felt like they were sold out. And that's why Kenyans in general have that bitter hate towards Raila Odinga, to the point that they are willing to show their support to the former foreign affairs minister of Djibouti, Mohammed Ali. Because most Kenyans on the internet are just mad because they felt that sense of betrayal from Raila Odinga. And that's why we are seeing Kenyans are for this foreign affairs minister of Djibouti. So if it was a people's election, because for the AUC chairmanship, they just have representatives of each country to vote. But if it was more of a people's vote, I think Raila Odinga would lose. The only region where he wouldn't lose, of course, is his home region, which is the Nyanza side of Kenya, the western side of Kenya. In that region, he would still win, but I feel the more people are getting to know who he is as an individual, a person who will easily sell out people for money, is the more people are going further away from him. Because for me personally, during the 2017 election, I was on Raila's side. I clearly knew that he won the elections. So if you're a person who has branded yourself as an individual that stands for democracy, and then at the moment where people expect you to stand for them, you end up selling them out. And it has happened numerous times. In 2007, in 2017, he did the same thing. People had garnered behind him, and they had decided that you are our people's president because you stand for democracy, you stand for what is right. Even though they have rigged the election, you still need to stand for what you believe in. But what he did is what he has always done: sold out people. When I say sell out people, I mean he uses the leverage or the fact that he has support from the people to go and get his own deals with governments, And that has happened even during this regime. So we have seen Raila Odinga move away from the people again. So this time it has been more impactful than 2017, because in 2017 few people realized that this is who he is. But right now in 2022, most of his supporters have run away from him. And if he was to vie for a Kenyan presidency, because remember last time he got a lot of votes, the difference between the current president Ruto and Raila Odinga was only 200,000 votes. But if he was to vie for elections today, I'm quite sure that Ruto will be more popular than him. And Ruto is not even the most liked person in the country right now. But he would be more popular than Raila Odinga, simply because for Raila Odinga, most people take it personally, because they had entrusted him to be that Nelson Mandela, to be that, that liberator who takes us away from our misery. But when we needed him the most during the 25th June protest, or rather the Gen Z movement, he betrayed the people. And he can't say that he wasn't warned, because a lot of people had told him to stay away from the protest, because it was a people's-led protest. Most people wanted politicians to be farther away, so he was warned not to interfere. But he just went away and interfered with the protest, which most people got mad. And that's why most Kenyans don't want him to win the AUC chairmanship. Do I think he's going to win the AUC membership chairmanship? I don't think he's going to win. He's probably going to come back to Kenya, because going back to the debate, you'd see that this Ali Yusuf guy looks like a formidable person. He looks like he's a well-poised person. The guy can speak 3 languages: Arabic, he can speak English, and French as well. This guy is eloquent. He's looks like a formidable person. On the other side, we have our own Raila Odinga, who is a little bit of a Joe Biden, one way or the other. So he's not going to win this AUC chairmanship. He's going to come back to Kenya, and this time he's not going to find any leverage, because the people have abandoned him. And this is one constant thing about Ruto. Whoever gets close to Ruto just loses their legitimacy to the people. We have seen guys like Kimani Ichung'wah. Kimani Ichung'wah was rooted in Kikuyu constituency, but right now he's quite unpopular. We have guys like Raila Odinga, but for Ndidi Nyoro, he was quite smart. He left that bubble of Ruto, because he knew that when you stay in Ruto's circle, you lose your legitimacy to the people. He has that effect on people. Even for Gachagua, the same thing. The guy was closer to Ruto and ended up getting so when they got their position as deputy president and president, you'd see that the first few moves that DP Gachagua did, which I term them as really stupid, was when he started attacking the former president Uhuru. So that made him lose some sense of not legitimacy, or popularity rather. He lost that popularity with his region. That's why even when he was impeached from the deputy president seat, most people from his region didn't really react the way that they were supposed to react, because he had lost that legitimacy. Let me just call it. He had lost that legitimacy with the people of Mount Kenya region. So anyone who gets closer to Ruto loses that popularity card. They lose who they are as individuals. So that's what happened. So for the AUC chairmanship, having to see a little bit of that debate, the Madagascar guy is out of the picture, because that guy is so unpopular. Even according to the polls, he's not showing up on the polls. He's not getting the higher percentages on the polls. So two people who are most likely going to win are Raila Amolo Odinga or Ali Yusuf. As a Kenyan, do I want Raila Amolo Odinga to win? No, I don't, because I've seen who the individual is to this country. He's the reason why this country is the way it is, because he finds a way of inciting people to get on that activist mode. And when people have got their spirits high, he sells them out to the highest bidder. Imagine if we had someone who pushed on with us till the end. You see the way America has Donald Trump. Of course, in 2020, Donald Trump also claimed that his election was rigged, but he never sided with the oppressors, in quotes, at any moment. He stayed true to his supporters, and we have seen him reaping the fruits of that. So imagine if Raila Amolo Odinga would do the same. Of course, he did what he did, and that's it. So I don't want him to win, because you're going to be the African Union chairman, and you've shown that you are willing to sell us out to the highest bidder. And on the continental platform, you'll get a lot of people who want to come to Africa and just come with policies that will ruin Africa, come with policies that's going to make Africa worse. And because you're ready to sell people out, you won't care. You'll just sell people out. And that's why I don't want him to win as a Kenyan. Do I know who this Djibouti guy is? I don't know who he is, but I hope the best candidates win at the end of the day. I don't want to make it my own personal thing to wish a person to win or not to win, but may the best person win. I don't know who this Djibouti guy is as an individual. I don't know who this Madagascar guy is, but what I know is I don't want the devil that I know to win this AUC chairmanship, because he has shown us multiple times that he's willing to make sure that he's willing to sacrifice the people to get the most out of it. And that's just final. So let me close it there. We'll wait and see what happens in the AUC chairmanship election. For now, let's close it there. Of course, I'll do a review after the AUC chairmanship election, which is probably going to happen either next year or before the year ends. I'm not sure about that. So let's wait and see. And if you like this sort of video, make sure you subscribe, like, share it to a friend. It goes a long way in appreciating whatever I do. Thank you.